Are you a spiritual healer or coach or light worker? Do those areas interest you? Or what do spiritual healers and coaches and light workers need the most? Hello, I'm Philip Montrose. My wife and partner Jane and I help people to step up and tap into holistic coaching and healing. And in this short video, I want to explore some ways that spiritual coaches and healers can make the most of their mission in their life. And this can be a challenging mission, and it's certainly one that the world needs most, and you may be called to it. And if you follow it, there's tremendous rewards and benefits. So let's figure out what a light worker is. It's someone whose mission is to bring more light in the world, to transmute the divisions and separation that's so prevalent today, and to heal the wounds and bring people back together into more oneness and harmony and light. And that can be a challenging, monumental task, as we know. And then what is a spiritual healer? In contrast to a normal, conventional allopathic healer, which tends to focus just on the physical and may use some dangerous substances in the process, a spiritual healer uses alternative, what would be called complementary, really, ways of healing that could include a wide variety of things. Traditionally, it was using elements of nature and energy centers in the East, in acupuncture and Ayurvedic medicine, and then shamans also use that, drawing on the different elements of air, earth, water, fire. And today, of course, there are so many different alternative elements. There are crystals, there are stones, there are visualizations, there's remote healing, and much, much more. So all of that could be considered spiritual healing. And what do spiritual healers and light workers have in common? Well, they both have a holistic approach, a unified approach, an approach to bring people together. And there's also a wonderful quote: "Never believe that a few caring people can't change the world, for indeed that's all who ever have." So although there may be small numbers and it may seem overwhelming, these spiritual healers, light workers, and coaches, there's tremendous possibilities, as the past has proven, of changing the world through this approach. So how does this work? What can we do? There are some lessons I want to share here that will kind of point the way shower's way, and how to do it effectively if you're a spiritual healer, coach, light worker, or interested in that area. So here are 5 important lessons for light workers and spiritual healers. First, you want to understand that the journey starts within. So even though you may want to help the world, indeed, yes, you still have to work first with healing yourself. Heal thyself, famously said in the Bible and elsewhere. And so as we open up to more possibilities, we have to understand that our inner world needs to have a certain functionality. It needs to be aware and realize that we're part of all of this, even though we're in a transcendent, perhaps, mission to help others. We still have to help ourselves as well, and be able to be functional and useful in a practical way to bring heaven onto earth, so to speak. So the second lesson is, don't try to go it alone. This is something that Jane and I, my partner and I, we see often, that, I'm just on my own solo mission. There's not many people out there. I'll just kind of figure it out all on my own. And this really can be a mistake, because we're going into uncharted territory here of unifying and exploring and bringing more light into the world, right? And there are going to be obstacles and detours and pitfalls and things you're not aware of course. And if you want to proceed most effectively, most directly, you want to connect with people who can help you, people who have been there themselves, who are on this journey, maybe even farther along in certain ways than you are. So the third lesson to keep in mind is access your soul's truth and wisdom. We have many ways at Awakenings Institute here to help people directly access, embrace, and be guided by their soul. And you may have your own ways. You need to have that as an intuitive way, as a reliable way to rely on your consciousness, your awareness, and your intuition to point the way to truth and to guide you. So the fourth lesson is develop a keen awareness of the territory. There's a spiritual stages involved, and it starts from being very much on autopilot, dimly aware that you're here in the universe and you're connected with the greater beingness of it all, to being very fully present on a regular basis, being in the world but not of the world. So become aware of the territory. The fifth lesson here is to approach your mission in a grounded way. A couple things here. First of all, from the body point of view, the health point of view, you want to ground your body, be physically sound, stable, relatively as much as you can with diet, exercise, sleep, sunlight, healthy lifestyle medicine, as it's sometimes called. And second, for balance, you want to confirm or get a sense of what you're doing has some kind of verification out in the world, because sometimes we can be a little far-fetched and not have any validation or any kind of confirmation to be clear about the direction we're heading is right. Because there's a lot of experiments going on here when you're doing light work and spiritual healing and coaching. So find some resources to confirm and ground you to help you build on what is positive out there in the mainstream, and other resources so you can build on that to innovate and move creatively forward and to minimize what's sometimes called the dark night of the soul, which we've been there, that dark night of the soul where you get lost in your mission, and that comes pretty much with the territory. You want to minimize that, where you're not sure where you are, where you belong. You kind of lose track of yourself, and that's temporary. It can be depressing, and you may need help to get out of it. But I think following these 5 lessons about the journey starting within, don't go alone, accessing the soul's truth, developing a keen awareness of the territory, and approaching your mission in a grounded way is going to minimize detours and problems, and allow you to have more hope and bridge those challenging times that will inevitably come up. So the idea ultimately for all of this is to have more love, the spiritual energy of love, bringing that into the world. And with that, as we say at Awakenings Institute, there would be no poverty or warfare or hunger. All of that would go away with more love in the world being a guiding force, and there'd be a respect of nature and the environment. So that's what this is all about, of becoming a spiritual coach, healer, light worker, and helping improve and uplift the world. And we do have a resource here at the end of the video. I'll give you a link for a free resource kit for more resources and information on this important topic, if you are indeed a spiritual coach, healer, light worker, or thinking or gravitating in that direction.